many different kinds of ways do you know how to say hello?
Salam.
Dumela.
Hola.
Molo.
Bonjour.
Sawubona.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Goeiemorgen.
Ni hao.
Ashe.
Guten Tag.
Jambo.
Durud.
You beat me. You took all the common European ones. You took Spanish, you took French.
But yeah, you should have taken them earlier.
Welcome to another episode.
Welcome back. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah. Those of you who are on your 6th watch, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. What's been bothering you this week?
What's been bothering me this week? Damn, a lot of heavy stuff, but what's been bothering me is... I don't know what's been bothering me, actually.
Let me tell you what's bothering me, and then maybe you can think about what's been bothering you. What's been bothering me this week is visa application fees. Everyone in this world who does not have an American, a European, or a British passport will understand this. Now, honestly, the visa I just paid for wasn't that expensive. Really, I've paid for more expensive visas. Like, it was fine. But it just got me thinking, because I was also talking to someone who was also paying for visa fees. And it was just like, we really do be going through a lot for visas, especially if you have an African passport, or if you have, like, if you just have a passport from anywhere in the global south, like, and even parts of the, like, even certain Asian countries, I don't know what their passport strength is like. Obviously, no, okay, Middle Eastern,
Don't even bring up the Iranian passport, guys. Don't bring up Iranian currency, Iranian passport.
I will not speak on matters I do not know of. All I know is, okay, I'm tired. I'm already going to spend money in your country, okay? I'm already flying there. I already have to stay somewhere. I'm going to have to eat. What more do you want from me?
Your soul.
Fine, you have to validate that I'm not a criminal. I understand. You have to check my passport. I understand. You have to check that I have residency status where I am. I understand. Why are you taking hundreds of dollars from me?
Don't take my Shayla's money.
Why are you taking
She works really hard for her money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what's been bothering me this week, really. And I love to travel, really. So this is something I've gone through many times. I will continue to go through, unfortunately, until all you people of the world decide to stop this uselessness called visa fees for some of us.
Everything fee.
Everything fee. Everything money. Rest. So, yeah, that's what's been bothering me this week.
We could say money, actually. On the topic of money, let's just say money. Because, guys, one thing about me is I love to shop.
Yes, she does.
I love to buy necessary and unnecessary things. She knows this.
Self-awareness.
Yes. I love buying. I love spending. But you see, I don't have to be spending. So what happens is I just spend, and then I go into overdraft. Then I go into credit card debt. And then I'm like, oops.
What do you mean, oops? She's saying this like someone was forcing her to say checkout.
I'm joking. I genuinely, like, the reason why I'm in credit card debt is because I am a filmmaker. That is the reason why. But on a daily basis, like, I could be saving so much money if I just didn't buy unnecessary things. Like, I literally, the other day, after my wax appointment, I was like, oh my gosh, Ultra's right here. I need to get hairspray.
Did you buy anything other than hairspray?
Yes.
Of course you did.
So, first of all, my mum even offered, she was like, I can give Pateka hairspray to bring back. Like, yeah. I was like, no, I need it sooner than that. So I was like, but it's going to be more expensive here. Anyway, it was more expensive. Pick up the hairspray. I'm like, oh my God. I also dropped my eyeshadow palette, the one with the black eyeshadow, and I love making a smoky look. So I was like, I need to get a new palette. I buy a new Morphe palette. It was a really nice palette. And then I'm like, my beauty blender. I buy more beauty blenders. And then I end up spending
And
$50.
suddenly, yeah, I was about to say, you went in for one thing, suddenly you've spent almost $100.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
I need to change my relationship with money, and I need to get more money.
Someone on TikTok was like, what? They were like, I'm not downgrading my lifestyle, I'm upgrading my budget. Because they were like, because you know, a lot of people say like, don't get lifestyle creep when you get more money, which is pretty good advice, right? But this girl was like, no, my dear, my needs are going to stay the same. If the money is not adding up, the money must increase. That's what's increasing the pressure.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. I have to be rich.
Exactly.
Because first of all, I'm a very giving person.
Yes, you are.
And I would love to have more money so I can spend more money on my sexy friends and family.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, you know my dream is to take my friends shopping and just be like, get whatever you want.
Yeah. Big
Sugar
mommy,
vibes.
sugar mommy.
Yeah, I love to do that.
Yeah.
Never for a man. If you're a man in my life and if you want to do that for you, you go like, you're completely mistaken. Oh, I'm so sorry, you're completely mistaken. You're out of this conversation. But my girlies,
I do
Rodeo
like
Drive.
woman. I do like woman.
Yeah, my girlies, Rodeo Drive, 2029.
We're going to come. Everyone who's around the world, all of your friends, come fly to LA just for that shopping trip.
2029, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Amen. I don't know how to segue into this week's combo.
Have you ever seen,
Yes,
or are you the person that is from a culture but doesn't know too much about their culture?
right.
In different ways.
Okay.
We're here to roast you.
With love, though.
With love.
Gently.
With so much love.
Think of this as encouragement, in a way. We're putting pressure. Because really and truly, as a generation, we're kind of in a bit of a crisis. A little bit. I think it kind of started millennial, Gen Z. I don't even know Gen Alpha, lost causes. Our baby nieces and nephews, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going. You guys are still growing up. There's still a chance, you know? But like, guys, we're losing recipes, you know? And Sahara and I were like, no, man. We need to speak to the people. We need to encourage people to tap in more.
Remember the recipes.
Tap in more.
Why can I not call Yasi? Yasi, why can I not call and be like, can you make me warm sabzi?
Oh.
Ashley, you remember your grandmother's cookings, yeah? Who else? Who else am I dragging? Parisa.
She's fetching all her Iranian
Shirin actually did cook. I don't remember what Shirin cooked for Christmas though. I can't remember. Great chefs. I need to just call you guys one day and be like, I'm coming over for Orma Sabzi. I want to see if you actually can. Okay. Actually, Orma Sabzi is too harsh.
Yeah, can you make it? Oh.
Guys, take one for the team. One of you that I named, take one for the team.
Oh.
I nominate Yasi. Yasi, but the Orma Sabzi is unfair because you need 24 hours to cook it.
Right. Let's start small.
Let's
Maybe
start with
tardik. Is that too easy?
Tardik is just rice. Tarchin. Let's start with a tarchin. Nice tarchin and torshi, pickles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice tarchin. Maybe a kuku. Maybe a cutlet. Maybe a nice bagali polo. Maybe some type of polo. Which
We're
is
gonna get there. And it's really hard to like, guys, obviously we have recipes and stuff in this day and age, which is really brilliant and makes things easier, but you need that I got this from my mother. You need that, oh, my grandmother does it this way. You need that. We've lost the plot somewhere along the line, you know? And I think moving overseas has made me so much more cognizant of this, because even like I myself, I must say, like when I lived, like for instance, when I lived in Cape Town, which was still like only a 2-hour flight from home, I wouldn't cook food from home as much. Like I would cook like a dumpling here and there, stew here and there, whatever, but I wouldn't cook it as much because I'd go home frequently enough or be around other Black South Africans enough that we're gonna have our cultural food frequently enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you move.
Then you move here.
And it's just you and your pod staring at each other like this, because you're craving malamhood. because you're craving Maldon, because you're craving Motoho. And now what is supposed to happen if you don't know how to cook? What's supposed to happen? Like, I can't tell you the number of things that I've had to figure out this side. Like, and like my family and stuff is like, oh wow, so impressed. Ooh, you can make this. I'm like, it was bred out of necessity.
Literally.
It was bred out of necessity. You should see Sahara and I fighting for our lives in this kitchen trying to figure out how to make things from home. We're like, okay. And also, you can't find all your spices and everything, so you now have to improvise. And then you're like, okay, but when my mom did it, it didn't lift like this. It didn't raise like this. It didn't, like this week, my wonderful friend Kutlano, she brought me mabele, which is like grounded sorghum. I think that's the English equivalent. And we typically use it to either make like motoho, which is like a porridge, or we use it to make ding, which is like a starch. Not a yeah, it's like a starch that you serve on the side, like bap as well, kind of vibes. And I was like to my mom, I was like, my dear, I have the powder now. What do I do? And guys, this thing is really easy to make. And if anyone here knows how to make it and you're judging me, please. Anyways, I successfully made motoho and it made me very, very happy. And I was fortunate enough to be in the position where I could just call my mother and she could give me the instructions and I could execute. But guys, we have to get on this now. We have to get on this now in our teens, in our 20s. We can't be waiting until we're old and running households, because God forbid, we don't know who in the older generation will still be there to guide us.
No, and God forbid you marry someone who knows nothing about your culture. Then you're cooking stuff from their culture, and then slowly things start fading out like color.
Do you think you'll learn, like, if you marry someone of a different culture, will you learn how to make their culture's foods?
Yeah. My dad's ex still to this day knows how to make like gamer and stuff. So, because the way I see these white girls, like, I'm just like, wow, great, fantastic. I love that you're loving the culture, but the way they like embrace it, I'm like, in Farsi is like fake mkoni ki, like fake mkoni ki asti. Is your mama and your baba Iranian? But it's like, who do you think you are? Like,
it's so tricky with marriage though, dude.
It's
so tricky because like even we're starting to see more and more like African weddings from different cultures and like people getting married with someone who is not African,
but the way
whether
they
they're
claim
white
it,
or Asian, whatever, and like now you're wearing the regalia. You are
them
there
ones.
doing the dances. You are there. I literally saw a TikTok today of someone. So in like a lot of South African like wedding cultures, you get gifted in different ways across like bride family, groom family, whatever. This man was carrying the gifted traditional blanket everywhere, all over the airport. He was traveling with it. I was like, my dear, do you know how heavy that blanket is? I know how heavy that blanket is. Why are you taking it everywhere? And like, shame, he was probably just really happy. But it's like, it's so like, I can't stop you. Obviously, like, a marriage is meant to be a meeting of the minds. You're meant to become one. So you are supposed to be embracing each other's cultures. So I'm sorry in advance if I do cringe a little bit at it.
Yeah, I think it's just strange because I think I also had this conversation with my best friend where it's just like my experience with whiteness has been quite traumatic, whereas other people haven't had like, they've had great like friends who've been white and haven't experienced discrimination or anything like that, whereas I kind of have. So I think when I see like, I guess, Caucasians marrying into like Middle Eastern families or whatever, I just get a bit like, because the way they claim it is so strange. Like, you know, when you don't have a culture and you kind of, then because you don't really have a culture, you start clinging on properly into that one. Whereas like, for example, let's just say if me and you got married or whatever, like I have my own culture, you have your own culture, but because we are so, like, you know, because we have it, we're not clinging and looking for.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or is that weird to say? I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but I feel like...
I've seen what you're saying. Like, I've seen people do it.
Yeah.
Not really in my personal life, more like from a distance. But, like I said, it's hard. Because if you think about it, if you are like a Caucasian person descended from whatever generation that's not very like in touch with their culture, right? Like, let's say you're a white American who doesn't really know what part of the Europeans your family immigrated to America from, because you haven't done that genetic testing or whatever. It's like, cool. And then you marry into an Iranian family, and an Iranian family of which like they are very in touch with where in Iran they're from, language, their dialect, their culture, their food, whatever. That person in the marriage is going to be the more culturally rich person. So even if their spouse is not necessarily trying to latch or steal, it is you know what
they have to be a part of it. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you love
they
it.
have to be a part of it, and
It's
also it's
love.
like it's the one that takes up the most presence, so therefore it'll be the one that is most present in the household. So to be
Yeah.
part of it, they kind of have to, you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying it's like it's love. Like when you love someone, you want to be
Yeah.
a part of their world and stuff as well, which is understandable. I just think Iranians are so warm, so inviting. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's other cultures out there who are so inviting and warm, but like Iranians were literally,
Most indigenous cultures are inviting, unfortunately.
which is why
this
they
is
got
how-
colonized. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Anyway, but like actually, like you go into any village and then people just want to look after you. Actually, it did make me laugh one time. A European couple did go to Iran and end up in some random village and their passports got taken.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I was like, yeah, thank God for once, don't be nice. Thank for once, rinse someone. Yeah, they rinse you all the time. Anyway, I'm joking. But what I'm saying is that we're really giving, so I understand why someone would feel so invited and accepted as well. I just feel like I've seen so many, especially on the internet, on TikTok, like so many white women like speak Farsi, or like they wear the traditional clothes, and like it's just so strange for me. Like I don't know, I find it so strange. And I've also seen a girl put out a Persian cookbook, and she's not even Persian.
Isn't she married to a Persian? Is this the person you told me about?
Yeah. And I'm just like, I understand, but and love is love in it. I just find it so strange, and I genuinely do think it's because of my experience with whiteness, and fetishization and all of that. So whenever I see it on the internet, I'm a bit like,
You're like, weird.
I saw these two white girls who were married to like a South Asian. I think they were both married to South Asian men, and they had like a beef over something. Like it was crazy, but. Yeah, I'm just scared of like marriages like that. Like obviously they're in touch, but obviously when you marry outside of your culture, then things start to also get lost a little bit as you go down the line.
True, yeah.
Persian and Farsi is such a poetic language. Like Dorit Begardam is like, I want to walk around you. I love you so much. I want to walk around you for eternity. Qorbunit Beram is like, I want to serve you for the rest of my life. Or like Jigar to Bukhoram is like, I want to eat your liver. Like it's weird sayings.
Eat your liver.
It's weird sayings. Or like, oh, there's this beautiful poem and it's like, your pain is mine, your happiness is mine, your whatever is mine, but you are mine. Like I'll read it out later. I'll put it probably here in the screen. But Persian is such a poetic language that this woman, also my dad's friend, was like, I turn around in the middle of the night, and even though I'm saying it from the depths of my heart, he doesn't understand the depths of my heart. I don't want to explain my soul to somebody. I think I've done that enough in my life, and I don't want to do it again. And I don't know if that comes with someone who's cultured but from a different culture, or just someone who's also Middle Eastern and Iranian. But I don't, especially with everything going on, I don't think I have the capacity to explain myself. I just want to be read. I just want to be read.
You want to be seen.
I want to be seen. I want to be
understood.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, if tears are forming in my eyes, I don't want to tell people why. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think
does.
Yeah.
But bringing us back from mixed marriages and whatnot to even be those spouses and those people who are contributing that to our marriages and whatever, we first have to know and clock our own cultures, guys. And let me tell you, I am worried because there are certain things that I feel like our parents and stuff know and are able to do, and I'm not sure that there are enough of us who have that knowledge. Like, okay, Shab, we've already like explained the whole like cooking thing. Language is a big thing, but also like cultural practices, like slaughter. Guys, sorry, I need to pause this conversation to make an appeal to South African men. I'm going to space very specific because I'm not sure how much slaughter is involved in the other cultures. You know what I mean?
Animal slaughtering, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, let's be specific.
Eating food. Yes.
And
Sheep.
also very ethically. You're not doing it just for vibes. You're doing it. You have to select a specific kind of animal. The animal must be happy. The animal must not know that it's going to be the end of its time. You do it once, you don't do it pregnant, you don't do it to sick. There's a lot of rules towards ethically
Yes. Especially,
unaliving animals.
I don't know about Christianity, but especially in Islam, like there's steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know
To make it
about
ethical.
I'm not sure about in Christianity. All the things that I know of,
Just
I'm known
culturally.
from culture
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, yeah.
and my parents. But guys, who's going to do the slaughtering, guys, at the parties? Who's going to? Do you know how to slaughter a chicken? Do you know how to slaughter a cow? Do you know how to slaughter a sheep? Do you? Do you?
I don't think my younger brother would be able to slaughter animals.
Yeah.
I would be able to do the slaughtering, and my brother would just be like,
Yikes.
I don't think Sahan would be able to do it. Sahan, I love you so much, but I don't think you'll be able to do it. I'll do it, but I'll like obviously won't feel comfortable because I don't think
Yeah.
I'm like, I like looking after animals more than killing them for food, and I'm not really into meat that much.
If it's just for the sake of eating, like back in the day, girls used to do it as well. Like I'm pretty sure my mom knows how to slaughter a chicken, and some of my aunts as well. Like they used to do it when it was just like to feed, and then they'd like pluck them, etc. But when it comes to like for functions, and when it comes to bigger animals, especially things like cows and stuff, that's definitely men's job. That one tough.
Yeah, that one is crazy.
That one so sorry.
That
Our job
one's
is to clean
okay.
the insides once you are done with your
Yeah,
job.
my grandmother used to like that makes it. My grandmother used to look after the cows and like the chickens and the sheep, but she loved her cows, mate. Every time her one had to get slaughtered, she would have a
Not be well.
fit. She
Not
would
be
have
well.
a fit. Yeah.
But anyways, beyond this conversation is also like the consideration of language. Like, do you think it's crazy for people from like people who are either black or Middle Eastern or brown in some sort of way to only speak English?
The thing is, I understand it depends on how you grew up. Like it depends
100%.
and all of that. Like if you were born in, for example, Germany, you never left Germany. You had interest. This is the thing. It's interest and love for your culture. And also that just because you have love and interest doesn't mean you'll actually do it well or want to do it. I think a lot of factors like being bullied in school for your culture, trying to hide it so you can get in better spaces and occupy more spaces, I don't know, at work. Like it's a lot of things like fitting into standards. But I guess when you prioritize other things, like making an effort to learn your culture when you didn't grow
Yeah.
up around it is time consuming. I'm grateful that obviously I lived in Iran. I went back to Iran in the summers and would spend my summers there, and a lot of the work I do revolves around like translating like stuff to make artwork out of it and stuff. So like I have to be around it, and I absolutely I'm obsessed with my country. So like, but there's people that don't have that, so it's like how can you expect them to learn a language that they're not 100% invested in?
Yeah, and
you
there
know
was
what I mean?
never like a huge priority in their lives. you
Yeah.
know? I also know that like a lot of the times it's like, at least in the case of like a lot of African children from different cultures, like our parents' generation definitely focused on like survival and giving us tools
Oh,
to thrive in a
100%.
Western world. And that meant English, my dear. That meant being able to enunciate. That meant having a great vocabulary that you can schmooze with all the executives and whatnot, right? So I know a huge part of our generation who cannot speak their mother tongue languages is because of that. It's because
Yes.
genuinely like the concentration was on English, so learn English. This is barring anything like speech impediments or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Like yeah.
But that is a huge reason. But then to me, it's like I feel like at a certain point in adulthood, it becomes on you to, if you are curious about it or if it's something that is important to you, to learn the language. Because you know what I mean? Like, I think for me, it's like, it's not the be all and end all. Not everyone has to be able to speak whatever is their mother tongue language. But you know what makes me sad is that we could end up losing them, especially very, very specific languages that aren't like spoken by many people. Do you know what I mean? No. Like there's a lot of people in this world who speak Arabic. If you come from an Arabic speaking family and you can't speak it, I doubt that you not being able to pass it down to your kids is gonna like dissolve that language. But some of us come from smaller countries and smaller cultures, you know what I mean? And it's like if we're not speaking it, if we're not passing on those things to our kids, if we do have kids or our friends, children or whatever, it could get lost.
And it's like, yeah, and you just reminded me because I was thinking that you were just like, I was like, wow, loads of people speak French in this world. And then I remembered a lot of countries were colonized already. And then, do you know what I mean? And that's why people speak French. Like, then they have to make sure, no, like, all right, that's the colonized language. What was the language before? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even up to you at the same time. Like, powers before you have tried to make sure that you don't learn your language. Even Kurdish, for example, I know Iran had like a long history of, even before the regime where people weren't allowed to speak, like, for example, their mother tongues, like Kurdish and stuff like that. So it's powers before you were trying to stop you from speaking your mother language.
So take it back.
So, yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, obviously, it's a lot of effort. But, like for example, with me, like, my grandparents used to, I speak Farsi. I can understand my dad's dialect and I can understand a bit of Arabic, but I really want to make sure that my Arabic gets better because my grandparents also used to speak Arabic. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, or like learning Kurdish and stuff is so important. So I think learn as much as you can, and especially your mother tongue, because
it's easy to lose.
It's easy to lose, and also it's so much fun when you speak another language and you can
and you can gossip.
Be like. Exactly. That's our made up language. But
we don't have a name for it yet.
Yeah.
Or even just like be able to I don't know, like you're saying, like communicate romance in another language, be poetic in another language, listen to music in another language and actually know what they're saying.
Have you ever thought about how, like, using your mother language to talk in like interesting scenarios?
Explain.
Like intimacy.
Girl. No.
Because guys, I heard it for the first time, like, I think 2 years ago. Me and my friend Yasi were in the same room. I wanted to throw myself.
Like someone was flirting with
No,
you.
not even flirting. So there was this film called The Holy Spider, and obviously I've never heard dirty talk in Farsi. The first time I experienced, and I've never watched like Iranian porn. I've never watched like anything like that. So I wouldn't know, and I never had like an Iranian partner to know that either. Oh my God, the way
Was it not cringe?
It was this, like, me and Yassi were holding our ears like this. We were like, get us out. But obviously, like,
I've actually never like heard it either, like in film or TV movies, and actually I don't want to. I don't want to. I actually don't want to. Maybe that's where the reservedness comes, because I'm like, I think I'll cringe. I think because like we associate so much of our home
with the
language with
West.
family. No.
Sorry.
We associate our home language a lot with like family,
and then intimacy.
So now,
with,
why
like,
are you trying to? No.
And because the West has like been so open, I guess, in that regard.
Yeah, it's like it's fine. We're used to it.
It's like two, and it's actually interesting because it brings me to this other conversation when it was obviously in my 20s when I started, because I'm also queer, so I started like merging. Like my queerness was always separate from me being Iranian, and I was like, why is that? And it was only until I started meeting more queer Iranians that I was like, actually from Iran, not like obviously I know there's queer folks who haven't gone to Iran for a long time and they grew up here, but it was such a breath of fresh air to meet like Iranians who have just come from Iran and who are queer, or queer Iranians in Iran, because it's just like, oh no, like we can coexist.
Yeah.
But in this conversation of dirty talk and stuff in Farsi, or like sutu, I don't know.
Never heard it. I don't want to hear it. Let's stick to romance. Let's stick to poetry. Let's stick to that. You get. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it cute. We've both been living like in America for a couple of years now, and like we both like Sahara was telling me about how she wants to improve Arabic or whatever. Like even like there's certain phrases, or like my grandfather used to write books, and I have some of his books here in my apartment with me to like just have a piece of him with me. And guys, the Sutu in those books, hey, wow, it humbles me every single time. It takes me forever to read a page because it's like proper Sesotho, Sa Lesotho. Do you know what I mean? And I think moving and not being around your people every day and stuff already starts to kind of like not dilute you, but like you forget certain things, your pronunciation goes a little bit off, you know what I mean? So if already moving does that to you, like the onus really is on you and on us to like keep it at the forefront of our minds and keep trying and keep, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's not gonna just happen without any effort. I think that's what moving has taught me. Like when you're at home and you're surrounded by people all the time, you don't have to think, you don't have to put in effort. Like it's just there. I wake up, my mom speaks to me, so my dad speaks to me, so life goes on. Do you get what I mean? But now when you're building a life for yourself, or you're in these westernized spaces, or if you have a partner who's not of your culture or everything like that, the onus does become on you to do that aspect of like cultural preservation and pride, and you know. And I think, yes, we were roasting a little bit, but also like take this as encouragement, you know, that like this world is such a beautiful place because of all the different things that we all bring to different spaces, to different artworks, to different stories, and we don't want to lose that.
100%. If you can make the effort to learn your mother tongue and keep your culture alive, learn the recipes, I guess the traditions, like we have Yalda, we have Nowruz, like keep them alive, put out a half scene, even Life is Crazy, do that, like, do you know what I mean? Like when you're celebrating weddings, try to, you know, do certain things to keep it alive and carry on certain cultural things that you're supposed to do during weddings, just like all of these things, you know what I mean? Like watch more TV shows from Iran, read more books, do you know what I mean? It's just like, I know it's hard, but I think it's important, especially because we're away from home, and especially because not all of our homes are accessible at the moment. So I think it's so important to do that. Sorry.
All right, madam. What have you been watching this week?
Oh my God. Okay. Guys, I've been a bit depressed this week. So I rewatched Yagi. I finished it in like 2 days. Yagi is an Iranian show that it came out, I think, in 2022. Has one of my favorite one of my favorite directors, Mohammad Kard, directed it. I'm not sure who wrote it, but a couple of one of my favorite actors is in it. Yes, he is my favorite actor because he's fine. Okay, he's good looking. That's one. He's also Kurdish. I love myself a Kurdish man. I'm so sorry. Anyway, fantastic show. It's about like kids from like lower parts of Iran, like the streets of Iran, and they don't really come from much. And then this guy, like, one thing about Iranian TV shows and films, one person doesn't go through one type of conflict or bump on the road. There are many bumps, and as soon as you think it's going to get good, another bump comes. Like, it's crazy. Like, and it always ends sad, which is something I'm trying to, like, as a director and writer, trying to change that, to have more beautiful, better endings. But it was such a beautiful show because, first of all, it was like the acting was A1. The directing was great, cinematography was great, and production design was fantastic, and it did a really good job of showing the pains of people who come from nothing and how nothing unfortunately follows people sometimes, and pain always follows people in Iran, but it just shows how hard someone can work when they love and when they're a good person. But yeah, what have you been watching recently? Oh, we spoke about this. I
haven't watched anything other than Love Island. I don't have time to watch anything other than Love Island. That 1 hour a day is really all the time that I have to dedicate to a new show.
It's not on tonight, is it?
No, today's Wednesday, new episode, so it's only going to come back tomorrow.
She's not here.
I'm not here.
She's traveling. She's going to a festival.
But still watch it, okay?
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah,
guys,
because I'm going to
Can we talk about the Jeremiah and Huda situation? Guys, both of them are stressing me out.
At this point, they can both go.
Okay, so it makes me so sad because I think last year we had such a beautiful group of women, like girlhood, like Serena, Leah, Janae. Like, it was so nice. And then
this year, but I feel like I'm still like, guys, like, it's still, we're only in week 2.
We're only in week 2. That is quite true.
And we have Alandra and Shelley. Yeah. Maybe there are for me, the solid human beings.
Yes.
Who I love. But yeah, the Jeremiah Huda situation is it's tricky. It's been messy
Yeah.
from both sides.
From both sides.
Because you people are pissing me off who are putting all the blame on Huda. Like, you're irritating me. Like, both of them did shady things. Both of them have been, like, not nice towards each other, really and truly. And if they get back together, Godspeed. And if they don't, Godspeed. Because at this point, actually, y'all need to, you're stressing me out. You're killing the fun.
Stop crying over men. Okay? Thank you so much. And because you're complaining so much, the girlies are getting tired. Us watching, we're getting tired, Yani. I know you can do better. Do better. Thank you.
To the men in this season, be nice. Guys, be nice.
Yeah, actually,
Just be nice.
Nick, I understand where you're coming from. Ace, I understand where you're coming from, but you guys are bullies, mate.
That's not nice.
You're bullies.
I understand maybe she's crashing out a little bit, but the way y'all speaking, I'm sorry, I'm still not gonna get over. Jeremiah not comforting her was crazy.
That was
that was
disgusting.
crazy behavior. The woman who you claim you were quarter to locked in with, no, zero comfort, zero nothing. And then when she asked why, I was frozen. Are you kidding me?
Guys, I don't know if
you
you've seen Jeremiah's jewelry ad on Instagram recently. I was going through my Instagram. You know how ads come in between stories? I was like, why is Jeremiah outside and why is he
having ads? Well, obviously, like, his team is running those.
So you see, in my opinion, if you already have a team outside, already starting your situation right now for when you get out of the villa, you coming in here with a mission. So Pateka did say that she thinks Jeremiah stayed with Huda for
a bit of a mission.
And I
could be wrong.
I could
be wrong. I could be wrong.
No, because that ad confirmed it for me.
I'm only week 2, but you people are scary. Also, Austin, off.
Austin, fuck off, mate.
We've seen your reposts. We've seen your repost, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, sir.
Oh my God, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And it's very much confusing me that you're into black women and that's the kind of content you be reposting, and I'm assuming you also voted similarly. That's a bit shady. Please. Who else? Love to Alandria, love to Shelly. Taylor, you know what? Please prove yourself a bit more for Alandria. Other than that, you are a sweetheart. Like, Taylor's been sweet to all the girls, truly, in that villa.
Yeah.
I just need him to
proper gentleman vibes. But yeah, you need to
put more pressure. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Put more pressure. Ace, I don't know, but he's entertaining, so we can keep him there. He's a little bit menacing.
Yeah.
A little bit menacing.
Yeah, that one crazy.
A little bit shady.
You're very confident for your height. What had to be said?
Yeah. Who else is in that show? Oh, Sierra.
Yeah, you see Sierra's getting irritated as well, you know.
Sierra and Shelly.
Yeah.
Make something happen. Make something happen.
Be who you wanna be for your pride.
Make something happen. I don't have really much to say. Who else is in that show? Pepe, Hannah. Hey, you know what? The rest, we'll see. We'll see as it unfolds.
Charlie left.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie, mate.
I'm sure he is fuming watching Hannah and Pepe now. Hey.
Yeah, but Hannah. No, you know when she put the picture when she was like this. I bet she was crying on the pillow. Yeah, and the producers came in and were like, "Wait, hold camera, now cry." Like, I would have done that as a director. I would have literally been like, "Stop, put the picture next to her."
Yeah, department.
And I know Peteka says she doesn't want to do reality TV and stuff like that. But oh my God, I think she'll be fantastic at this. I think she'll be doing great at it.
I'm not closed off.
Yeah, I get it.
That was funny. I'm not closed off. If the reality TV people want to pull me for a chat, let's talk. I'm cooking with these pans, man.
You really are.
I'm cooking with these pans, man. But yeah, that's really all I've been watching. And that also brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please continue to show support for this lovely little show that we are creating by liking, by commenting, by subscribing, by sharing it with your family, by talking to everyone you know about it, by reposting our stuff on social media, by following our social media pages, and eventually when we get to more audio platforms, by doing all of those things there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, 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 very
lovely
much.
week. Take care of you and all your people.